So let's talk about higher calling. What does it mean to have a higher calling? What obstacles are in the way of following your higher calling? What you can expect from that journey? The things that may happen that will, let's say, try to stop you from following your higher calling. Um, let's talk about this. As someone who already follows their calling on a daily basis, I can tell you things that happen and things that don't happen in that journey, so you know what to expect and you don't get discouraged on the way. So, first of all, let's define what does it mean to follow a higher calling. A higher calling is something that you were born to do. Some gifts or talents that you have, and they are the key to creating the life that you are meant to live. Now, not following your higher calling will lead you to a life of misery, life where you don't actually enjoy your life and you actually hate it. While if you follow your higher calling, although there are many obstacles which we're going to discuss here, it will lead you to the life that you were meant to live. It will lead you to a life where you actually enjoy your life and you actually love doing the things that you do, and you do things that you also love. This does not mean that you do things that you love like 100% of the time. There are still things that are included in the entire process that you may not necessarily enjoy. However, they're part of the whole. So this is what higher calling means. It's your true path in life. And higher calling will keep knocking inside of you, inside your heart, until you actually answer that call, until you actually muster up the courage and you actually go down that path and follow the things that you are meant to do in your life. Now, the first misconception about higher calling is that it will be a smooth ride all the time. Once you follow your higher calling, people think that it will be like no obstacles at all, no difficulties, it will be smooth sailing process all the time, which is very far from reality. When you follow your higher calling, there will be a lot of obstacles that you need to overcome. But these obstacles are essentially there so that you can grow through them and you can transcend them. These obstacles are the stepping stone always to the next level of doing your higher calling. So, in a scenario, let's say your higher calling may be different things. It may be to start a business, it may be to be an artist, it may be to be a musician, it may be to become the best version of yourself, which is a calling that actually everyone has. But you can have different callings. But there is one major calling that you have in your life that will dominate all other areas. Now, when you follow your higher calling, you will see that the level of your current consciousness that you have will not be enough for the ride. You need to actually elevate your state of consciousness on a continuous basis. And the way this happens is that once a challenge presents itself, which will 100% happen multiple times, don't get discouraged. Don't think that you're doing something wrong. See it as that this obstacle is signaling you directly things that you must pay attention to, things that you have not resolved yet. So if, let's say, you become an artist and you have a vision of the things that you want to paint or draw, but you have a very clear image in your imagination of the painting that you want to draw. However, once you start doing it, it actually doesn't look like the way you've imagined it, which signals you a skills issue. You need to work on that skill, because once you become great at that skill, what will happen is that the things that you have in your imagination will be able to get 100% channeled through without distortion into the painting, because now you have the skill to do it. It's the same for when you run a business. If you want to start a business, then you need to, if that's your higher calling, then you need to learn about marketing. You need to learn about sales. You need to learn about product development. You need to learn how to build a website if that's something that you need, and all these different aspects. And then you start selling your stuff to other people, and then you encounter different issues, like your conversion rate is not the way you want it to be. Your average ticket value is not as high as you want it to be. So you need to find a way to overcome these difficulties. And following your higher calling is all about growth. That's the thing. We think that following your higher calling is something that you enjoy all the time. While there may be a lot of enjoyment in the process, but there will be a lot of skills that you need to develop to actually be able to take an idea from your imagination and actually make it into a real tangible thing. And for that to happen, you need the skill. You cannot just channel that idea if you don't have the skill. It will be channeled with distortion. So that's why being practical about it is very important. This is why I want to demystify what a higher calling means. Higher calling, again, is something that you know you were born to do, but you may not be able to do it right now. So what do we do? That you just start, you follow the flow, and the flow will bring you to a certain points of your journey where something is required of you, and then you work on that to resolve that issue, and then the flow continues. And that's what it feels like to follow your higher calling. It's not a pure enjoyment process all the time. Of course, you enjoy it because it's your higher calling. It brings you purpose, it brings you meaning, but it's not easy. It's a difficult thing to do because there are a lot of aspects of making an idea, which is your higher calling, into a living reality. So, what I see people doing is that they get scared because they have an idea and they feel the pull of the higher calling in their life, and they want to actually do that, but because they lack the skills, because they lack the knowledge, because they lack the know-how, they tend to get discouraged and actually not follow that higher calling. But what you must realize is that you will never be 100% ready. You need to start even when you don't feel ready, and then become ready as you're going. Following your higher calling will challenge you very often. It will challenge the essence of who you are. And you need to be in a constant growth process so that you can evolve and you can execute that higher calling in a better way. So it's a game of evolution and growth here. The more you can evolve as a person, the better you can execute your ideas, which are your higher calling. So don't get discouraged if you don't know how exactly you can do it, if you don't know how long it will take you, if you don't know if it's going to work out or not. If you feel the inner calling within you, something, a vision that you have that is pulling you in that direction, you feel the energy, it wants to flow, your internal energy wants to go in that direction. Don't stop that process, just go with the flow. Go with the flow and allow that energy to move you in the right direction. What you realize that we're not talking about thinking here. We're talking about something more deeper, which is the very essence of your being. That very essence of your being is what will propel you forward to move in the right direction for your life. And now, the very important thing here is that you actually release expectations and attachments, which is extremely hard, I know, to the outcome of your higher calling. You may start something new in your life, and you may be, and probably are, if you're new, you will be attached to the outcome and the time frame. So that's very important to let go of that, because very often we think that we need to know the exact plan of the steps that we need to make. But what you realize is that intuition or divine flow, it doesn't reveal you all the steps. It shows you one step at a time. And once you make that step to the best of your ability, to the best of the level of skills that you have, and knowledge and wisdom and heart and soul, do your best always to take the step as best as you can. What you realize is, as you're taking that step and you have already taken it, the next step will get revealed. And so every step gets revealed as you're moving towards that higher purpose. And what you also need to realize is that the moment you start following that flow of energy, which leads you into your higher purpose, the moment you start doing that, you're already acting on your higher calling. And it's just a matter of time until the things that you do actually bring you some results. If you're genuine and honest about your progress and you actually give your best to your higher calling, to execute it in the best way that you're able to, results will come. Probably not according to your time frame, probably not in the time frame that you want them to come, but they will eventually come. What you need to realize is that the day you plant the seed is not the day you reap the harvest. And you have probably heard this countless of times, but this is so true. We want to get instant results, but that doesn't happen. Reality, external reality, not internal, external reality has a delay, which means you do something and then there is a delay between reality mirroring back result or out the feedback to the things that you're doing. So then the question comes, how do I know that I'm doing the right things? What if I'm doing things wrongly? Well, you don't need to concern yourself with that. If you really follow your intuitive guidance on a daily basis, you will do the right things. Intuition will never lead you in the wrong direction. Even if it seems like the results are not instant, even if it seems like it takes too much time, you need to trust the process. You already know that. You need to really trust the process, because it's a process of unfolding. And as your destiny is unfolding by you following your higher calling, um, there will be things that will happen along the way that you like or you may not like. So you need to have a strong why. And for me, my why is that if I'm not doing the thing that I was meant to do on this planet, then I don't feel meaning in my life. I don't feel the purpose in everything. I don't feel like getting up from bed in the morning because there is nothing to get up to. So this is why following your higher calling, it's not really a choice anymore if you're at the higher levels of consciousness. if you're at higher levels of consciousness and you can actually perceive reality in a true way, it's not going to be a choice. You have to follow your higher calling, or you will be miserable all the time. So there is no choice being left here. You need to follow it, and you need to grow in that process. So my advice for someone who is new to this, someone who feels like there is something that is pulling them energetically, a vision, an idea, a dream, a goal, you need to let go of fear. That's crucial here. If you don't let go of fear and doubt, what will happen is that this fear will cripple you. You will feel like you're defeated, you're a failure because you have not achieved the thing that you want to achieve. But there is a very good quote that Earl Nightingale said. I think it was him, but yeah, it's that you cannot, you're not successful if you earn a lot of money. You can only earn a lot of money if you're successful. I hope you got that. Which means that the results never come before you evolving. You need to evolve first, you need to grow first, and then the results show up in your life. It's never reverse. So you don't wait for signs or signs of approval to follow your calling. You actually follow it to the best of your ability, and then you start seeing synchronicities and signs and so on that will tell you that you're on the right path. Now, there is a stage where you're doing so much, but nothing seems to show up. It's like this stage of effort, but no results. What you need to realize is that at this stage, you need to keep doing the thing that you know you need to be doing. You need to keep following that divine flow that propels you forward. And this is the moment that will teach you how to let go of having attachment to the outcome. This is what this stage is all about. If you're doing already your higher calling, but you see no results, no signs of results, then this stage will teach you so much about letting go, about doing things for the sake of doing things because you actually love and enjoy them, because you have something to share. You have gifts and talents that you want to share with the world. Just by learning to do it because you love that process is what you need to learn in that stage. Because again, reality, physical reality, has a delay. So you may be putting a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of dedication, which is 100% required if you follow your higher calling. You need to be determined, you need to be focused, you need to really do the hard work. But you will not see immediate results. It will take it will take time before the mirror of external reality actually shows you the results. So you need to stay strong in that phase, in that stage, and you need to trust your vision. The things that you know are for you, that you know you were meant to achieve and live, they are yours to live, they are yours to achieve. And every single person who has created something from a vision into a tangible reality has been through that stage of not seeing results, putting in hours and hours and not seeing any results or outcome. That's something that everyone goes through. There is not a single person, there may be some exceptions, but 99% of the people who have achieved something let's say their higher calling, they really live it day by day, they had to go through that exact stage where no results are present, but you need to keep staying focused and actually keep bringing your gifts to life, because that's what it's all about. The more you can share your gifts and talents with the world, you're basically giving from yourself. And a natural law of life and the universe is that there is action and reaction, which means that when you give, there is someone who needs to receive it. If you didn't have the urge to give or to create, um, if you have that urge to create or to give, this means that there is someone who actually will receive the things that you have to give. If there was no one to receive these things, then you wouldn't have the urge to do it. And also, try to not see things as in a final way. Like when you try to execute on an idea that you know is your higher calling, and it doesn't reap success immediately, don't consider the idea as a complete failure. Don't consider yourself as a failure. Sometimes you need to go through certain things so that you can develop certain things like skills and wisdom and knowledge, so that you can take them forward with you and they can serve you in the best way possible for your next creation. So this is why a lot of people start a business and then they fail and they start again and they fail and then eventually they succeed. It's not that you're not following your higher calling all the time. You are following your higher calling, even though there are a lot of failures along the way, or we may consider them as failures, but they're not really failures because we're learning and growing through that process. If it wasn't for these failures at the beginning stages, then you would not be able to produce the end result that you want to produce. So this is a necessary path that you must walk. So don't get discouraged. This is the most important thing here. Don't get discouraged because it didn't work out the first time. If you know it's your higher calling, then keep doing it. And if you feel like your idea is great, but your execution is poor, then work on that execution. Don't necessarily change the idea. You can always tweak and optimize an idea, but if you feel deep down in your heart, in your soul, that this is the idea, then don't give up on it. Even if everyone tells you it's a stupid idea, the market doesn't need it, and all these things. I don't want to use curse words. I'm not someone who curses a lot, but if you don't want to give up on that idea because deep down you know that it's the right idea, then just improve it. Just tweak it a little if that's necessary. If not, just stay focused and keep executing. You have to shut down everyone else's opinions. That's so crucial when you follow your higher calling. And I've been through this stage, I almost forgot to share it here, that there will be a stage where people around you will not see your vision. And don't think that your vision must be seen by someone else. It's your vision. You're supposed to see it, no one else. And if people don't believe in your vision, they cannot see it, even if you explain it in a very detailed way. They still cannot see the potential, the idea, the vision. That's you actually trying to communicate your higher calling to someone else who is not at the state of consciousness where that person can receive the idea in the way that you see it. So don't listen to anyone else when it comes to these things. The best guru and teacher you will find is internally and life itself. Of course, videos like this help along the journey. I've watched thousands of videos on these topics and I've experienced them, and that's why I started this channel. But of course, videos and books and so on, they help. Of course, even though they help even more, they help on a practical side of things when you need to learn a skill or certain things about your craft. These are very useful things, but also when it comes to these deep things, they're also helpful because sometimes we need to hear some encouragement. Sometimes we need to hear from someone who is further ahead on that path that we are walking. So you need to hear that confirmation. And don't think that your higher calling is somehow some mystical thing um, that people need to understand it, and you yourself need to completely understand the entire concept. You don't need to watch thousands of videos on these topics. What you must do is learn how to listen to your own intuition within you that will show you the way, and also observe life as a scientist, so to say, and receive, be aware of the feedback that life gives you, and then work with that. Learn the fact, the reality that life is your biggest teacher, and the things that you feel internally are the biggest gurus for your life. So yeah, there is only so much someone else can help you. There is only so much help you can get from someone else. The best help that you will find is already within you. Life is already teaching you everything you need to know. Life is already showing you the way. What you need to do is just trust your vision. That's so important. You need to trust your vision, even when it's uncertain, even when you feel like nothing will ever work out, even when you feel like the entire universe is against you. Well, let me tell you a secret. The entire universe is not against you, it is helping you. But our limited mind cannot perceive the bigger picture of things. We cannot see that this soul crushing challenge that just destroys us is actually what we need to be able to initiate that transformation, which then that transformation will lead to a better place in life. And I've been through this a few times, and I can tell you that the worst moments are for the best. I know that may seem like woo-woo crazy talk, but it is the truth. The things that I've been through in my life have made me, the dark periods have made me into the person who I am today. And I can share these things because I went through these stages. So trust your higher calling when it keeps calling you, when the energy keeps pulling you, you need to actually follow it and forget about fear. Even if fear is there, which will be, doubt will be there, insecurity will be there. Just don't pay so much attention to them. Of course, feel them, allow them to be there, don't resist them, but that's a different practice, which is not for this video. I think my previous video was about this, but allow the fear to be there, doubts and so on, but just don't listen to them. Just do your thing, follow your vision, and don't get attached to the outcomes and the time frame. Do it because you love to do it, and immerse yourself fully in the process. And what you realize, that the day you plant the seed is not the day you reap the harvest, and you will eventually reap the harvest. Your higher calling will keep calling you until you actually follow it and commit to following it on a daily basis. It will keep calling you, and your life will become more miserable and more miserable and more miserable until you actually start following your higher calling. And once you do that, it's not going to get easier, but you have more strength to deal with more issues. Don't allow this to scare you off. You will have the strength to overcome these things. The divine energy that created everything will provide you with the energy, wisdom, and intuition and skills and everything you need to overcome the challenges on your way. You just have to be willing to walk that path and to actually commit to achieving your higher calling. So that's it for today. I hope that this cleared some things for you. You got some insights about your higher calling. If that's the case, please leave a like. It helps the channel a lot. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, leave me a comment down below what parts of this video did resonate with you the most. And also, a quick small promotion before the end of this video is that I run a clothing brand. It's called Jackal Studio X. It's a motivational, inspirational clothing brand that will inspire you while also keeping your look very nice. So good looking and inspired, it's a kind of a good deal. And check it out. Link is down in the description, jackalstudiox.com. And that's it for today. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and attention spent on this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.